Hello. This is Antya from Byte Shuffle. Thank you for always watching my videos. This time, I've put together a guide on strategy and sideboarding for Sneak Show. With intense back-and-forth combo plays, I think this was the best match of the year. If you're interested, please watch until the end. Here is the deck list we will be using this time. It's a bit weak, but since I have draw sources, lands, and some disruption, I'll keep. I'll search for a land that produces black mana. Didn't find one, so I'll shuffle. My opponent cast Ponder and drew without shuffling. I'll go searching for a land that produces black mana. I'll stack Vexing Bauble, and Swamp in that order, then draw. The effect of Atraxa, Grand Unifier is reveals 2 fetch lands, an island, City of Traders, 2 copies of Brainstorm, Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn, Spell Pierce, Force of Will, and Lotus Petal. They added Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn, Lotus Petal, Force of Will, and City of Traders to their hand. I'll search for a tutor. I stacked Giazwil on top of Vexing Bauble. I'm going all in. From here, I'll generate additional mana needed for the combo. As for when to stop with Ad Nauseam, with Infernal Tutor, if your storm count is high, reaching 6 mana and achieving Hellbent will secure the win. With Beseech the Mirror, if you have a high storm count, reaching 4 mana and having 1 life to pay for the bargain cost will secure the win. I'll go searching for mana acceleration. I stacked Giazwil on top of the Surveil land. I'll continue searching for mana acceleration. Didn't find one, so I'll shuffle. I'll continue searching for mana acceleration. My adventure ended here. Before sideboarding, I'd like to review the list we used. First, the conclusion. I will explain it step by step. As many of you may already know, let's start with a quick overview of how Sneak Show operates. It uses cards like Show and Tell and Sneak Attack to cheat creatures like Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn or Atraxa, Grand Unifier onto the battlefield without paying their full costs. Or use Show and Tell to put Omniscience on the battlefield, allowing you to cast all spells for free and secure the win. Against the latter strategy, you can counter it by putting Vexing Bauble onto the battlefield in response to their Show and Tell, rendering their play ineffective. Alright, let's get into the main topic. In Sneak Show, these are the cards relevant to A&T. First, we have various counter spells like Spell Pierce, Force of Will, Force of Negation, and Consign to Memory. To counter these, we'll bring in additional discard spells. Next is Veil of Summer. Although it's not as common lately, some players still choose to include it. Against the opponent's Veil of Summer, chain from Burning Wish into Peer into the Abyss to fill your hand, and then use Burning Wish to generate the necessary storm count for Grapeshot, or, if the graveyard is accessible, chain from Beseech the Mirror into Giazwil to build storm count, and then finish with Grapeshot. Burning Wish stays in the main board as is. To balance the numbers, if you're on the play, it's best to side out Chrome Mox. On the other hand, if you're on the draw, you may want to keep it for extra plays in the early turns. It's better to remove Cabal Ritual and add Chrome Mox instead. Next, there are graveyard hate cards like Surgical Extraction, Grafdigger's Cage, and Fairy Macabre. The goal is to ignore the opponent's graveyard hate cards and, since we're not engaging in life trades with the opponent, aiming for the Ad Nauseam route is ideal. Our goal is to open with multiple discard spells, slowing down the opponent and then going all in when they're off balance. Even if the Ad Nauseam flips aren't favorable and we can't secure the win that turn. Thinking of this card as a way to recover the resources you've spent can make it easier to manage expectations. As long as you've replenished your hand, you can play multiple discard spells on your combo turn, pass the turn, and go for the win again on your next turn. It's almost like achieving a pseudo-victory. Next, regarding the One Ring. When this card enters the battlefield, it grants protection from your opponent. Afterward, you draw a total of 3 cards. From our perspective, it's effectively like being hit with a Time Walk followed by an Ancestral Recall. If you see it, you'll need to address it with a discard spell. I'll mulligan since there's no land. Put Burning Wish on the bottom. I'll use Vexing Bauble to shut things down. My opponent cast Ponder and shuffled. I'll go looking for either mana acceleration or disruption cards. I stacked Polluted Delta on top of Brainstorm. I'll assess the situation with my opponent and gauge our positioning. I took out Brainstorm. Nice top deck. I'll search for mana acceleration. I stacked Infernal Tutor on top of Polluted Delta. I'm going all in. From here, I'll generate additional mana needed for the combo. As for when to stop with Ad Nauseam, with Infernal Tutor, if the storm count is high, reaching 6 mana and achieving Hellbent will secure the win. With Beseech the Mirror, if your storm count is high, reaching 4 mana and having just 1 life to pay for the bargain cost will secure the win. I'll accelerate mana while also building up my storm count. With a high enough storm count, I'll cast Tendrils of Agony. Even if it means going down to 6 cards, there's a chance for a stronger hand, so I'll mulligan. Put Tendrils of Agony on the bottom. I'll assess the situation and gauge my position relative to my opponent. It's likely that my opponent's library is stacked with both a launcher and ammunition. I really didn't want to, but since I need to switch up my hand, I took out Red Elemental Blast. I'll go after the opponent's launcher. I took out Show and Tell. I'll search for disruption cards. The Surveil effect sends it to the graveyard. I'll continue searching for disruption cards. I stacked Lion's Eye Diamond on top of Chrome Mox. I'll continue searching for disruption cards. I stacked Dark Ritual, Lion's Eye Diamond, and Polluted Delta in that order, then drew. I'll continue searching for disruption cards. I stacked Infernal Tutor, Polluted Delta, and Veil of Summer in that order, then drew. The Surveil effect sends it to the graveyard. I'll continue searching for disruption cards. I stacked Chrome Mox on top of Lion's Eye Diamond. I'll fetch a second copy of Veil of Summer. I'm going all in. From here, I'll generate the additional mana needed for the combo. Starting at 13 life, I'll first focus on recovering my hand resources and aim to secure the win on the next turn. If I can cast 2 discard spells and pass the turn, that's ideal. I'll be careful not to put Tendrils of Agony in the graveyard, as it could lead to an unexpected loss. I'll accelerate my mana while also building up the storm count. I'll search hard for an answer to Consign to Memory. With the storm count now high enough, I'll cast Tendrils of Agony. Thank you for watching up to this point. I apologize for the frequent play mistakes. I hope to improve at MTG together with everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving it a thumbs up. See you in the next one. This has been Antya.